Today is Thanksgiving Eve, November the 24th, I guess, 2021. This is one of the things we do of all the things we do, hustling, frying turkeys. We put up these panels right here because Rhonda's already fried like 6 birds for a customer. And we have some for delivery and pickup today, people that's doing Thanksgiving Eve, and we have a bunch to do tomorrow. This is our little setup here. A lot of times we can do a round of 10 birds if we want to, just according to how many we got to do. In the starting process, we've just put the grease on. Hopefully I won't forget, and I'll show us dunking the first birds. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Probably won't get this video out nowhere near Thanksgiving. Just learning how to do this stuff. Getting content where I can. Getting cold and the grass is not growing a whole lot. Cows are up in another pasture somewhere. We had a new one born yesterday. A little bit of our process here is that we have our raw birds in our arena here, and she'll put them on the stand. And once we start taking the birds up, which we're only doing a 3 round because, like I said, we're just got a few birds to do today, and we'll set up that table outside to keep cross-contamination down, or to a nil. We'll set it up out there and wrap the birds outside, and I will only handle the hook to drop the bird. This come about over 30 years ago. My dad went to a school for his job working for the phone company, and he was in Louisiana somewhere. Well, he come back with a Cajun fried turkey recipe. He started doing them, and people started hearing about them from the years of people coming over and whatever, and they wanted us to do turkeys. We were doing more and more of them, and Daddy kind of turned it over to me, and we were doing turkeys for people, and it's a lot of work. And I had a guy at my job about 26 years ago. I wasn't real fond of him, and he had heard about the turkey frying, and he wanted a turkey, so I told him I would do it for $20. And we started selling turkeys and been selling them every year from that point. This might be the last year. It's a lot of work. We sold turkeys for $20 a piece, and now these turkeys this year, I think we give almost $1.50 a pound for these turkeys. And so this year is the $50 year. Be the first year we got that. But our turkeys are just sitting here. They just come out of the cooler. These are the ones we're frying now, and we'll get them going. Here. I keep a boiler on hand in case I put too much grease. I can keep it from running over and causing a fire or whatever. I like the bouncing down in there, that cold turkey and that grease. Grease is right at 375 degrees. We recouped this grease from our store business before it burns or anything, and it's perfect for frying fish, frying turkeys, and it helps keep our costs down. Right, we've got all 3 birds dropped. We kind of keep our recipe close, kind of guard it a little bit. So there's 9 different spices that we heat up and cook it down, and when it cools down, we inject the birds in the meat, under the skin. I like it in the meat. Rhonda, she likes to do it under the skin. But anyway, we'll monitor this temperature now. We do not let it go below 290 degrees, and we'll have to constantly, because as the bird starts to fry and gets the same temperature inside, it will the temperature will start spiking, start going up, and have to stay close to it. We stick with 10 to 12 pound birds, but most of these 13 pounders, because they're hard to find 10 to 12 pound birds. I got to put some more grease in that one there. It'll be all right. 10 to 12 pound birds will fry all the way through real nice. When you get like a 15 pound turkey, I have fried them. They're tough to get done where the leg meets the rest of the that's the thickest part of the bird, and if you don't get your times just right, cook it a little lower temperature for a little bit longer to make that work out. But if you just throw him in there like we normally do, he'll maybe not get as done as you'd like. That one there's cooking real nice. All right. Show you what it looked like when we get them in our wrapping area, or maybe even coming out of the grease. And there's 3 perfectly fried Cajun turkeys for Thanksgiving 2021. We had to use our feed truck to sit here and block the wind from our little setup here. We got 1 more bird frying. Had to do a total of 4 this morning. We got 1 more frying. If I don't forget, maybe I'll show it coming up. But just like always in November, as soon as you strike a match, the wind's going to start blowing 50 miles an hour. So we had to set up the box truck to help block off some of the wind. Funny story about wind. One year, my cousin from Iowa, and I was frying. We have a great big old pot that will actually fry 3 birds at one time. And we had that big old pot full of grease, and we had 2 birds in it, and the wind was blowing like crazy. And we put a tent up because it was also a dreary, rainy day, and we put a tent up. Well, we tied that tent down from the center of the tent down to that grease, thinking that pot full of grease would hold that tent down. A big old gust of wind come up at some point, and it snatched that grease, and the turkeys rolled out in the yard, grease out in the yard, and the tent floating like a parachute. Yeah, a lot of good stories in this turkey frying business has happened. I've caught stuff on fire and burnt myself many times. But overall, it's getting to where it's more of a hassle than it is fun. So we may go back to the friends and family thing. One year we put out an advertisement, bought these signs and put them up between home and Geneva and around Bonifay, and we ended up frying 50-something turkeys that year, and that's too many for just Rhonda and I. And we put them signs up and ain't put them out again. About 25 is about the most that we wanna ever do. So we do that without even trying. So That's where we're at on that. But enjoy seeing people be happy. I always get good comments back on them, and that kind of fuels the fire. So we've enjoyed doing it this long. Like I say, the business part of it's probably fixing to cease, but we'll see. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.